let's talk a little bit about Advanced Agility, who's a gold partner with Scaled Agile. And here at Advanced Agility, we have the value system of learning, growing, and achieving. The idea is about continuous improvement, continuous learning, and continuously achieving our goals in this world where everything is moving so fast. And this is the place where you are right now with me in a webinar, which is a Q&A session to gain insight on SAFe Advanced Scrum Master program. Okay, so who you are talking to tell you a little bit about myself so that you have confidence that you are talking to the right person. I'm a business transformation coach, agility coach. Here are some of my titles which give me a little bit of confidence to come and stand in front of you guys and say or discuss few words around agility and business transformation and coaching. I'm also learning, so I may not know answer to every single question you have. If I don't have the answer, I'll say I don't know and I'll guide you towards the right direction, or maybe I'll come back to you. But whatever I've learned in last so many years working with organizations like BC UK, Chubb Insurance, Lloyd, Barclays, or and there are many more. It gives me some kind of depth to at least understand the problem statement and try to find out the right solution, not the textbook solution. When I'm not learning, when I'm not upgrading myself, when I'm not working with this client, I do a lot of reading. So that's the other side of mine. I read around 30 books every year because I believe life is so short and we need to continuously learn. I try to meditate, to relax myself, to take the stress out. That's very important. Otherwise, sometimes you don't feel like yourself. So that's the other aspect of my personality. And I run a vlogging channel. So you can see me doing funny things, cheeky things, crazy things with my family on my YouTube vlogging channel. It's called the Rajwanshi family. And you can find me on, again, trying to explain the concept of business, transformation and leadership and motivation in a funny and simple way. So please feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. If you want to see my vlogs where I explain tech and so many other things, plus travel and lifestyle and all, please feel free to follow me. So that's about me. I won't bore you to the death just talking about myself. Let's move on. So before we actually go into the Q&A mode, let's set up the platform. Let's set up the context. SAFe Advanced Scrum Master is one of the course and certification provided by Scaled Agile. They have around 14 different kind of certification, and people more often get confused which one should I pick first. And even if they have done one or two certification, they still have that confusion, which is the next one. And of course, we understand that what you need is, as a learner, what you need in your career, in your life, to just get to the next stage. It can be a better role, it can be a better job, promotions, or anything else you're looking for in your career. You want the right direction. So because there are two certifications, SAFe Scrum Master and SAFe Advanced Scrum Master, it creates a lot of confusion. I'm no way saying that the only question you can ask me about today is just Advanced Scrum Master course. You can ask me anything around advanced concept related to the Scrum Master role. So feel free to do that, even if it is not part of the training, even if you don't know what that 2-day training entails. Okay, so what is Advanced Scrum Master course or training in itself? Is designed for someone who is already working as a Scrum Master and someone who understands what is Scrum Master role, what is a product ownership role, what does the team means, what does the meaning of agile teams, how they can work together as a self-managed team, how they can deliver value bit by bit in iterations. That's what the Scrum Master role is all about. But let's say you are already working as a Scrum Master. Now you want to take it to the next level. You want to be able to interact with multiple other Scrum team in your organization. How would you interact with other Scrum Masters? How would you interact with release train engineer? If you don't know what is release train engineer, for now, simplicity's sake, imagine a chief Scrum Master who is taking care of multiple Scrum team. In the SAFe world, we call it Agile Release Train, or team of multiple Agile teams. How would you interact with product managers? How would you interact with the leadership? How will you facilitate those ceremonies which are beyond just your team? How will you participate in those ceremonies? How will you track the metrics, the data which goes beyond just your team? That's what about Advanced Scrum Master course. And it revolves around this whole idea of discovering your role in a scaled environment where you are scaling up Agile beyond just one team, where you are involved in creating communities. What are these communities? It's a deep concept. Sometimes you must have heard of things like chapters and guilds and COPs, community of practices. That's what Advanced Scrum Master get involved in as well. So that's what you will learn about in this course, a 2-day course. And how will you facilitate the interaction outside your team with different kind of leadership role? It's a 2-day course available everywhere across the globe. And I'm not going into the detail of the course at all. I want to better pick up your questions and try to answer them. Okay, so I think it's a Q&A round. You can jump into asking questions. Ayushi and Alicia, please, if I'm missing something to set the context, please let me know. Otherwise, let's jump into the Q&A.
Sure, that was really insightful, and I hope that our participants are enjoying the webinar. And I can see that we have a lot of questions also waiting pending for your insightful answers on it. So, first question we have from Emma, and Emma is from Liverpool, UK. Welcome, Emma. So,
Hi,
her
Emma.
question is in what ways does SAFe framework support the professional development and growth of advanced Scrum Masters?
So, okay, yeah, it's an interesting question. The way I would like to answer that is, SAFe is a framework which is designed for those scenarios where an organization or enterprise, mid to large size, agile team, not just more than one, maybe more than 5 or 6 agile team, need to come together to deliver value, where one single team cannot deliver the value. That's where the SAFe comes into picture. So that's SAFe. Now, because SAFe is an agility framework anyway, so there are roles like Scrum Master, Product Owner, and so many different roles. If you are a Scrum Master, you are well versed in Scrum, in individual team, and you are doing good, you might still not be able to be very productive when you come to the scalability. So imagine you are part of Citibank or Barclays or any other NetWest, any other organization in UK, big one. Your team cannot deliver the full value. You have to interact with other teams. You have to interact with leadership. That's where, as a Scrum Master, you need to understand the scalability principle and concept. For example, every 1 quarter, the whole train, agile release train, that means 7, 8 agile teams roughly, they come together and plan for next cycle, next quarter. Your team is also one of them. How will you participate in that event? How will you manage those situations where your team is dependent on other 5 teams? Or maybe any of the other team is dependent on your team. How will you manage that situation? That's all you will learn in this course, which will help you develop in your career, in your professional development to take the next level of role. And eventually, you can go in the direction of becoming an RTE, that means release train engineer, which is kind of a chief scrum master, and you are taking care of the whole train. Just like the scrum master is the servant leader and facilitator on a team, release train engineer is the facilitator and servant leader on a train. That's where this course helps you in your professional development. Please put into the comment if I have answered your question, or you can um, ask the next part of your question. All right. Do we have next question ready
Yeah,
already?
yeah, we do. We have
Okay.
a queue of questions ready for you, Gaurav.
Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody
So,
wants to, sorry, just a thing, if somebody wants to ask the question and sending such request, you can unmute themselves and then they
sure,
can ask question as well. All right, please
sure,
go on.
sure, sure. Yeah. So the next question is from Aman, and he's from India. Welcome, Aman. And his question is, could you elaborate on the techniques or tools advanced Scrum Masters use to facilitate effective communication across multiple agile teams?
Hmm, good one. It can take 1 hour if I'll try to answer this question in detail. So there are two things you're asking, tools and techniques. So technique goes hand in hand with the kind of trait a Scrum Master should possess. As a Scrum Master, it's very important that you have the art of servant leadership. What is servant leadership? That means you don't operate in a way that you are the boss of everyone. You are the controller, or you don't approach with command and control way. What you believe deep in your heart, and you exhibit that behavior every single day, that I'm here to serve my team. And I'm providing a leadership in a way so that I can serve my team. And then I don't get in way. I will provide them whatever they need, information, authority, empowerment, and then I'll just stay on the side, watching them doing the things and asking for help. That kind of mentality is very important. Whether you call it as a technique or not, this is one way a Scrum Master should approach. Even at the senior level, at advanced level, this is how Scrum Master should grow. You can read 10 books on Scrum. You can read about what is sprint planning, what is retrospective, what is daily stand up, and you can still be a failure if you are not exercising the idea of servant leadership. If you're not exercising the idea of believing in people in your team, giving them empowerment, showing them that that's where we want to go, that's where we are, these are our competency, go. That's very important in terms of technique. Other techniques are your ability to resolve conflict, your ability to be able to openly, transparently talking about conflict and believing that conflicts are not necessarily negative. This two people not agree on something, and when you discuss openly, something great can come out of those conflicts as well. That is very important. If I'll touch upon the idea of tools, then of course, in the modern world where everyone working remotely, is very, very important that you have a digital work management tool. Sometimes people call it ALM, Agile Life Cycle Management Tool. One of the most popular one must have heard is Jira. I'm not nowhere I'm promoting Jira here. What I'm saying is that tool like Jira or Microsoft Azure DevOps or ClickUp or Asana or even a Trello board or maybe a simple to-do which you can maintain, where you can see the incoming work, outgoing work, and how the work is progressing. Able to connect with people very effectively and efficiently with minimum friction. So these kind of tools are required. You definitely should be able to handle any digital whiteboard kind of tool. These are the technology tool I'm talking about. Apart from that, there are lots of other models. Like you should be able to understand how planning poker work. Now, whether you call it a technique or a tool or a model is up to you, but you should understand how it works so that you can bring people and make them work collaboratively. Um, there's a website online. If you send me a message on LinkedIn, I don't remember on top of my head, which talks about a huge list of collaborative tools which people have put together over the whole pandemic period where everyone was remote. I can direct you towards that website and that can help you. So please send me a message on LinkedIn and I will direct you towards that. Have I answered it right? I don't know. I have just shared what I feel. Okay, let's go on to the next question.
Okay, so we have a question in the from an anonymous attendee. The question is, how does SAFe address risk management and compliance with this within agile practices?
Hmm. Now I'm assuming that when you're using the word risk management and compliance, maybe you are working in the risk and compliance area. So rather than answering the question straight away, let me share a story. During my American Express days, maybe you are from American Express because you are anonymous, we don't know. I was working in the anti-money laundering area. So it was all about risk and compliance and KYC, know your customer, local regulation and all that. So how it used to help us? See, First of all, we are not trying to create a crystal ball in SAFe for the rest of the year, because over a period of time, the world has got to the point where we understand that whatever planning you do today, even if you do a meeting for the whole day and list down all the risks for the next year, it won't work. World will change in 2 3 months, your risk will change. So what we do in SAFe, every 3 months, roughly 3 months, we come together and we ask every single person participating in that event to think of possible risk in the future. And what is the future horizon here? Just 3 months maximum. So there is a collaborative exercise. One person in the team cannot think of everything possibly go wrong. And the idea of risk is, when we are saying that we will deliver something, we'll provide a product or service to our customer, what can possibly go wrong in the near future? Literally, that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to create a virtual crystal ball to see into the future, but no one knows exactly. So the more people are involved, the better you have the chance to uncover the hidden areas, to identify the blind spots, and that's how you create risk. In that 2 days event, you also try to gain multiple different perspective of from expert in the organization. So no more that culture where somebody is raising a risk and a project manager is sending the risk to the whole cybersecurity architect and tech architect and solution architect and business, and everybody's taking their sweet time and saying that we'll come back in 1 week. No, 2 day event, everybody together in one room, sharing their expertise, how that risk can be mitigated, resolved, or just be accepted. If the risk is so big and you don't have the capability as an organization, just accept it. By the way, remember, risk is a probability of something happening in the future. It's not something as that already happened. So might be the risk won't happen at all. So you need to track it regularly in a weekly event. We call them art sync, PO sync, where the whole leadership part of the multiple agile team come together and discuss with each other how are we doing on our risk analysis and measurement and tracking. So that's how you do. Now, when it comes to compliance and risk, one more thing we need to keep in mind, that we don't have that luxury like in software development that you can miss the deadline and you can move over all the stories from one sprint to another. Of course, that is not possible. And that's I've seen as a big challenge. Although we are working in an agile way, compliance team and local authority and regulators, they must have a specific deadline. In the case of American Express, the story which I was telling you earlier, they have been asked to KYC all the customers in Italy, otherwise the business would shut down. And there was a point where American Express have been stopped to actually issue any credit card. So whether you are working in agile, not agile, it doesn't matter. So the point I'm trying to make here is, keep that in mind, practical thing, that when you're working on a compliance and regulatory projects or initiative, you are not in a true iterative way because you have a fixed deadline anyway. But within that, you can still be agile day-to-day working. That will help you becoming more efficient, do less mistake, and uncover the problems little early in the cycle so that you have slightly more time to fix it. So please don't think that you apply the SAFe and risk and compliance problem will be resolved. No, it won't. There are other different kind of problems. Now, if your question is around how a compliance team itself can use SAFe, maybe you don't need to use SAFe. If the compliance team is a team of 7 8 people, they can work in Kanban way, they can work in Scrum way. Again, I would say this is a bit of deeper conversation, so better you can get in touch with the team and we can have a 15-minute one-to-one conversation as well to get deeper into your problem. Sorry, a bit longer explanation, but I think it was important to go in that detail.
Thank you,
That's
Gaurav. I believe that everyone is just enjoying, and I can see a list of questions being added in the Q&A section. Another question we have is from Yogita, and she's asking, How often PI planning should happen in SAFe?
Hmm. I think I've already answered it, but let me go slightly more deeper into this. We call it scalability. So people ask how often the sprint planning should happen in at the team level when you are doing Scrum. Most of the time you will see is 2 week. Every 2 week, the whole team will come together and plan for the next 1 week. Now imagine there are 10 different agile teams, and all these 10 teams, every 2 weeks, they are doing their sprint planning. So all of them know what they are doing for next 2 weeks. But what they are trying to deliver as a group of 10 teams, they cannot do that every 2 weeks. Why? Because of the concept called economy of scale. When you have one team, you're handling 10 people. When you have 10 teams, you're literally handling 100 people. Now imagine bringing 100 people on a call where they all are talking to each other. Like in our webinar, generally we have 50 to 70 people, and we find it difficult to make everyone talk and openly share messages because it become a chaos. So imagine 100 people coming together every 2 weeks. And how costly is that? People stopping their work, coming in physically in a room or on a call and discussing those. So that doesn't make sense. And that doesn't scale up very well, too costly. So should they meet every 1 year? Maybe that's too long in the modern world. Why? Because world is changing from such a drastic speed that you will not be able to keep up to your plan for a yearly basis. Imagine in December 2022, ChatGPT was launched. Now we are in Feb 2024, just over a year. Oh my God, the world, the landscape has changed. Now they are talking about the world where they don't need even movie actors. AI can generate them. So no more worry about paying high price to Hollywood actors or Bollywood actors. You can just ask the AI and create it. There are lots of good example. One of the company in Europe, they have launched an Instagram profile, and the model was designed through AI. She was not a real person. When the profile reached 1 million followers, then they declared it was not a real person. It was an AI based model talking to people every single day on Instagram profile. So coming back to the point, 1 year is too long, every 2 week is too short. And that's where, based on the experience, it turned out that roughly 1 quarter is right. So exact answer to your question, how often PI planning should happen? It should happen between every 8 to 12 weeks. You can decide to do it every 8 weeks, which is 2 months, or every 12 week, which is 3 months, or 10 weeks, which is roughly 2.5 months. 10 weeks stacks very well because it allow you to factor in Christmas period where for 15 days almost everywhere is closed, and other holidays here and there. So 4 cycles of 10 week, 40 week in a year works very well in my experience most of the time. Some clients want that we don't want to get into this calculation of 10 weeks. We want to do it every quarter. Like we will do first PI planning at the start of New Year, January, and then one in April, and then one in July, and then one in October. But then you have to adjust your number of days because the last PI, which will start in October, November, December, and 15 days in December are gone. January, start of the new year, people may not be available as well. So you need to do a lot. Roughly 10 weeks is the good way to start. If you have any specific challenge doing that, please ask that, and I will try to share some insight into that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav, for that answer. That was indeed a very in depth and useful answer. But we have, like I usually said, a long queue for you. So, next question is from Yusuf from Dubai. What are the key responsibilities of an advanced Scrum Master when it comes to facilitating cross team collaboration in large scale agile environments?
That's a brilliant question. And it goes in continuation with what I was highlighting earlier. As a Scrum Master, you are not just responsible for your team internally, you are facing outward as well if you are working in a scaled agile environment. That means you are a lot of time talking to the Scrum Master in other teams. A lot of time you are talking to Agile release train engineer, other business stakeholders. So your responsibility is basically around collaboration. You should be able to collaborate. How will you do it? Imagine there is a problem solving workshop happening at the end of the quarter or at the end of the PI. Now, at the PI level, at the train level, where they use the word program, SAFe has officially taken the program word out. I'm just using it from the reference perspective because many of you will still be working in a traditional environment where multiple projects and team together, you call it a program. So at the program level, you are trying to solve a problem. Now that problem may be touching the root cause of the problem or the solution of the problem may be touching more than one team. And let's say your team is involved in that. So your role as a Scrum Master is to represent your team in that problem solving workshop. Not only just provide your team perspective, but also present yourself as someone, as a team trying to help solving the problem proactively. You're not just busy just doing what is given to you by a product owner or the leadership. You're also involved in solving the problem. Maybe you want to extend your help to other team who is struggling, but you have the expertise and bandwidth to solve the problem. So that's how you will interact with other people. So problem solving workshop is one of the key things where Scrum Master need to participate. And interestingly, in advanced Scrum Master course, we do the simulation of problem solving workshop, which is great fun. You will love attending that simulation. We will pick up the problem, send you into breakout room, ask you to act as a Scrum Master and take you through the journey of that problem simulation. So that is one thing. You also need to participate in PI planning, where you are during the PI planning, every team will go into their time boxes. So your team will be in their time box. The time is the essence. And there's a famous saying in safe world, um, time run faster than usual in breakout rooms. And as a Scrum Master, it's your responsibility that your team stay on track. They don't get too much of detail in one problem so that they lose all the time and they don't have the time to later towards the end, they don't have any time to discuss other areas and risk and dependencies and stories and maybe some design aspect as well. So that's another to be able to facilitate. So facilitation is the another area where you participate beyond the team ceremonies. That's what also Scrum Master do. Hope that answer the question. I can keep on going into too much of detail, but that's the gist of it.
No, I think that's a very good answer to the indeed a very good question. But we have more questions, so I think that's an
Yeah.
appropriate answer. So moving forward, we have a question from Mariam. She's from Spain, and her question is, how does the Advanced Scrum Master contribute to fostering a culture of continuous improvement and innovation within the organization?
Hmm. So yeah, continuous improvement. The idea is that when we establish a team on a greenfield project, when we are starting new, we don't assume that everyone knows everything. Even if people are very skillful, there are lots of areas which will get uncovered when team will try and experiment. And that's why Scrum Master will coach the team, guide the team, and motivate the team to be able to take decision based on the available data rather than getting into the state of analysis paralysis. So the idea is today when you are planning for your next 2 week, you ask some questions to your product owner, try to understand the intent, try to understand the definition of done and acceptance criteria, and based on that, make some assumption and commit to the work. Now that assumption and that commitment either can go right or wrong. In any case, after 2 weeks, you will come back again and try to correct your course of action. You will see what all the things you have overestimated, underestimated, where were your blind spot, what are the areas where you need more training, more understanding, deeper analysis. In a traditional environment, a project owner will be just asking one single question: how far you are from your target, from your delivery date. That's not what a Scrum Master will do. What Scrum Master will say is that, all right, we now know, based on the 2 weeks of work, we know that we have 5 different problems, 5 different gap areas. So let's see how we can improve it in the next sprint. If we need to send 2 people on a training, let's do that. If we need to buy a new tool and license, let's get the approval from the senior leadership or the finance team, whoever is responsible in your area. And let the team continually do the work and show them every single day that best based on the data information available to that. With that kind of leadership and working as a role model for the team, Scrum Master promote and foster continuous improvement in hope that helps.
That's thank you so much, Gaurav. And next question, we have a live one from Liam. Can you discuss the relationship between advanced scrum master and other safe roles in an organization, such as a release train engineer or product owner?
Hmm. So yeah, the Scrum Master, I'm trying to draw on my screen as well. Imagine you have a Scrum Master in the team. You have a product owner as well. And as I mentioned earlier, if that's one team, apart from Scrum Master and product owner, there will be many other team member as well. Now imagine there are multiple teams like that, where each team has a Scrum Master and product owner. Now in this case, I've just drawn 5 teams here, which looks like a caterpillar somehow. I don't know why. Um, Apologies for that.
Caterpillar
Now,
grows into it's fine.
okay, so now imagine all these teams together, you call them one team as well. Traditionally, we used to call them program team. Now, in this case, let's imagine you are calling them ART, which means Agile Release Train. So just like there is a servant leader and a product authority on each team, we need a servant leader at the ART as well. And that servant leader is called RTE. And the product authority, there can be more than one as well. So we sometimes call them product management rather than a manager. So that is the difference between Scrum Master. These 3, 4, 5 Scrum Master, they look up to this person, RTE, as their chief Scrum Master, who is helping, who is acting as a servant leader for these people. Just like Scrum Master is acting as a servant leader for the team, RTE is acting as a servant leader for all the Scrum Masters. That is the difference between Scrum Master and RTE. So maybe if you are doing the RTE role from last 5 years, 7 years, it's the time you can think about taking an RTE role as well. If there is an option of scalability, trying to change your job, even in that case, the path of growth from Scrum Master goes to the RTE. And imagine if you have, although you have not asked this question, but I'll still share. Imagine you have multiple trains like this. There is someone called STE, Solution Train Engineer, because multiple agile release train together, sometime we call it a solution train. So that is RTE, STE, and Scrum Master. Now, I think you asked about product owner as well. Product owner is the product ownership role in the team. Multiple product owners look up to the product manager who will help them, provide them leadership around the product side. So I always say this in my trainings. Product owner tells you what is the right thing to do. What is the right thing to do? And your Scrum Master helps you finding out the right ways of doing that right thing. So that's the kind of analogy you can put. And the same analogy goes on release train engineer and product manager combo as well. There's another way I explain it sometime. Your product owner defines the effectiveness of team, and your Scrum Master defines the efficiency of the team. So you need to be both effective and efficient. Effective means you're doing exactly what need to be done, and efficient means you have an optimized, better way of doing things. So whenever you think of the word efficiency, think of Scrum Master. And whenever you think of the word effectiveness, think of product owner. Hope that helps.
That did indeed. Okay, moving on to next question, and I am looking forward to answer. So Gaurav, as we mentioned earlier, you're a coach, agile coach yourself. So the question that Mariam has asked is, in everyday language, how does coaching play a role in the success of SAFe Advanced Scrum Master?
Okay, so there can be two, three different meaning of this question. So you're saying how the coaching
Play a
works.
role in the
Mhm.
success of SAFe Advanced Scrum Masters.
Hmm. So, by the way, in the industry, there is no such role called Advanced Scrum Master. That's for sure. As I mentioned earlier as well, a couple of times now, if you are a servant leader at the team level responsible for 8, 10 people, you are a Scrum Master. If you are a servant leader and responsible for around 100 people, which are divided into roughly 10 teams, or maybe 120 people, around about that, then you are a release train engineer. As a Scrum Master, one part of your role is to coach your team, every single member in your team. You are a coach for them. What is the meaning of coach? Simply mean you are helping them to become their best version. How will you do it? First of all, you don't provide straight away solution. You will basically try to ask questions. Sometimes you ask tough question. You will try to listen to them. You're trying to listen what they are saying, and you are trying to listen whatever even they are not saying. Sometimes we call it global listening. That includes body language, face expression, the tone of their voice, the kind of word they are using, and their mental state as well. So you turn up, you show up every single day in the role of a scrum master slash team coach, having the deep belief that no one do malicious thing on purpose. You have the deep belief that if the things are going wrong, if somebody is not able to perform, there might be a reason behind it. And you try to help that group or that individual to get better understanding of that root cause, working with them, partnering with them, and uncovering those problem areas. So that's how you coach them. You try to find out the solution not based on your experience. You try to find out the solution based on their knowledge and their experience. So you need to meet your team members where they are, rather than you are asking them to come to the point where you are. You might have all the amazing knowledge in the world, but they are the one who will do the work. So you need to understand their psychology, their way of working, their challenges. Coaching is a huge thing in everyday work. If you just say, I don't care, this is the delivery coming from the top, just get it done, that means you have passed on all the pressure coming from the upstream to your downstream. No, don't do that. What you need to do in place of that is get all the pressure on you, educate the outside world that you are working with the team, you're trying your best, and then pass on the information to team which is relevant for them to deliver what they what which is relevant for them to do what they need to do, basically the and delivery. N- Cut the noise, keep the noise out, let the team be protected, feel psychologically safe, not feel too much of pressure. Sometimes some pressure is good, but not too much of pressure, and then do their job. That's the team level. Now let's take up the same thing at the train level, RTE role, which is nothing but a chief scrum master, or I would say a train coach. So scrum master is a team coach. That way, RTE is the train coach, is training the whole, coaching the whole train, or you can say coaching the whole program team. Same principle applies. Work with the team member, partner up with them, try to understand what they're saying, listen to their problems, apply the global listening technique. If you want to know more about that global listening technique, um, we can have another session. Please send request. If enough people will be interested in that, we can talk about it. We can actually do a webinar. Um, yeah, and then create an action plan an action plan which you are not forcing on them, which they are willing to create for themselves, which they believe that they can work on. So that's how the coaching is can be applied and is applicable.
Wow, that was a very good answer, Gaurav. I think I'll let Ayushi ask next couple of questions.
Mhm.
Sure, sure. So, I've already answered that question, by the way. So the question was, where can I get the course? So I've directly sent them the email address.
Mhm.
We have Noha from US, and her question is, how does the concept of servant leadership manifest in the role of an advanced Scrum Master? And this is
Um,
especially in mentoring the teams.
would you mind asking it again? I
Sure,
just lost.
sure.
Mhm.
I'll just repeat it. So the question is, how does the concept of servant leadership manifest in the role of an advanced Scrum Master in mentoring the teams?
Oh yeah, I think we have already touched upon this in various different ways till now, uh, because it's a question in itself. So let me try to answer isolatedly. The idea of servant leadership is that you are a leader not because of your authority and your power. You are a leader and present with the team because of your mindset and your belief that you are there to serve them so that they can achieve what they want to achieve. That's servant leadership in simple words. So if you are mentoring your team, you don't act as an expert of something. If one or two isolated incident, you might need to pick up something and do hands-on work. That's absolutely fine. But you don't need to be an expert of a technology. You don't need to be an expert of a tool to mentor your team. You can find out the right mentor. If let's say somebody in my team want to want me to mentor them on Kubernetes or Puppet, any of the DevOps tool, I may not be the expert of that. But as a servant leader, I can try to understand what exactly they are looking for. Is it a training? Is it a workshop? Do they want to work with an expert? And I can go outside the team, find out the help, and create an environment where they are able to learn the tool and technology or a concept and move on. Of course, if there is any psychological issue or some behavioral problem, those areas as well, as a servant leader, you can play a big role by partnering up with your team members and trying to solve their problem. So, yeah, servant leadership is a kind of mindset, and mentoring is a particular activity that happens for a very long time where you take the role of a mentor and then try to teach someone. Uh, it can also happen in some cases. For example, you are a Jira expert, you are a Scrum Master, your team doesn't understand how Jira operates, they are new to it. You can run few sessions, group sessions, one-to-one Jira clinics, where people will come, ask you question, you will solve their problems. So all those things you can use to help them. How do you need to be a servant leader while you are running your mentoring session? I don't see a direct relationship. It's more of a mindset. If you are a servant leader, whatever you will do, you will bring that servant leadership in your behavior, in your action, in your conversation. I try to bring that in all my conversation, even if I'm talking to someone outside my team. So that's, I would say, is the way.
Okay, that was awesome. And along with the participants, we are also getting to learn a lot, on the things that we never paid kind of an attention to.
My
So,
pleasure.
with that, yeah, with that, our next question is from Justin. And the question is, what are some everyday challenges a safe and runs Scrum Master faces, and how do they overcome that?
Okay, so one of the biggest challenge I've seen Scrum Master facing every single day is product owner creating a lot of pressure on the team to get something delivered. Now, think like this: your product owner is nice person. There's nothing, just because we are doing a Scrum Master webinar, that doesn't mean we should preach about the product owners. We should not do that. They are nice people as well. Maybe the next webinar will do about product ownership. So yeah, the idea
Like,
is your
it's
product.
about Scrum Masters. Sorry.
Yeah. So the idea is your product owner is your customer's representative. Now, actual customer cannot be there with you all the time. So your product owner represent your end customer. They have that psychology of the customer, and that's how they have been trained. Because they are customer representatives, so let's in simple words say they are the customer, they are demanding. Customer always demand. And because they are demanding every single day, I need this, I need that, I want delivery, I want this feature, I want this story to be delivered quickly, I want the release to happen, I want these bugs to be fixed. They are demanding every single day. Of course, there are techniques which is taught to product owners on courses like POPM, and you can also coach your product owner as a Scrum Master that there are techniques to prioritize the work. Not everything can be done in one day. You have to have a plan. So that is a big pressure coming from product owner to the team, and the team is like not able to say no. They don't they don't know that they can say no, and product owner can help a lot in those cases. So that's one of the biggest thing. There are lots of technique involved in that. You need to be very, very good at the basics, the fundamentals, so that you can articulate yourself very well. But you also need to be very good in soft skills, making relationship, and not having a battle of right and wrong. Go beyond that. Again, try to understand the perspective of the person on the other side of the table, and then try to find out the win-win situation. So biggest pressure is this. Second biggest problem which I've seen Scrum Master facing is team, very creative people, intelligent people, they don't want to do anything. For example, in a software development team, developers, they don't want to do anything else than just coding. Now, it's good, they love coding, they're doing the coding, but someone need to understand how much we have done and how much is left, where we are. So Scrum Master, I've seen a lot running around asking people, can you update your Jira tickets? Can you please put a status? What have you done? Can you please make sure that you call out the dependency at the right time and don't let us know at the very end? And the team will say, yeah, we'll definitely do it. But more often they won't do it. That's the another biggest pressure situation Scrum Master face day to day. And when it comes to the end of the sprint, the poor Scrum Master need to just move everything to the next sprint and go outside the team and answer the leadership why the work has not been done. So managing those situations as a Scrum Master is painful. You can learn over a period of time how to manage these. There are tools and techniques you can use every single day to help your team updating the statuses very well, whether it's in Jira or having the efficient daily stand-up every single day, or creating those forums where people can come and talk to other team member and other team can talk to you in terms of dependency resolution. These are the two biggest problem I have seen. Let's not go into more details. There are some around reporting as well, where Scrum Master is facing the external world, whether it's team average velocity or burn down chart or lead time, cycle time, maintaining all these metrics is a challenge, especially if you don't have the right tool.
Great. Alicia, would you like to continue now?
Yes. So Gaurav, I have a live question from an anonymous attendee. Could you please repeat product owner and scrum master something like efficient? I think they want to know about the efficient and effective roles.
Could you please say again?
Repeat. Could you please repeat product owner and scrum master something like efficient? I think when we talked about the roles being efficient and effective, they just
Okay,
want
okay,
to.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That reminds me of yeah, that's a very, very good question. Um, and I mentioned about it. Let me try to pick up something if I can. Oh, all right. Let's talk about effectiveness first. If your customer has asked you, this customer has demanded that I don't know whether you can see it, I want a watch. I need a watch. That's what your customer is saying. I want this. And you are saying as a team, we'll do it. Brilliant. After 6 months, you'll come back and deliver the watch. Have you been effective? Will your customer like it?
No, that's a big no.
So you have delivered in 6 months. No defect, no problem. But you haven't delivered what the customer was asking for. So you have not been effective. Let's take another case. Your customer is saying, I need a watch and I need it in 6 months. And you said, of course, we'll deliver it. And then you start working as a team. After 6 months, you are saying to your customer, yeah, we're almost there. We're there. It will be done. Just hold on, bear up with me. And then 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, after 1 year, you came to the customer and said, ta-da, I have the watch for you. So you have delivered what customer was asking for, but you haven't delivered in time. So you were almost effective, but not efficient. So customer won't come to you again. May not come to you again, depend upon if you have the monopoly in the world or not. So that's the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. And we need both. We need to deliver what customer want us to deliver. That is called effectiveness. Product owner is the person who ensured the effectiveness in the team. And we need to deliver the way we should deliver by optimizing our process, reducing the delay, reducing the lead time, and yeah, being as efficient as possible. And that efficiency part is taken care by Scrum Master. Hope that answers your question.
That was a
By the
great
way,
example.
yeah, by the way, thank you. By the way, I'll add one more thing here, which is called proficiency. So as if effectiveness and efficiency were not enough, I'm throwing something else in the mix, and that is proficiency. What is proficiency? Your team, actual team members. So product owner telling this is the right thing to do, effectiveness. Scrum master saying these are the right way to do things, efficiency. And the team showing the proficiency, the competency, the skill to convert those ideas into reality. So your team should have effectiveness, efficiency, and proficiency. These three things, then you can do magic.
Next, so Claire is interested in knowing, like, if you can share a success story where a safe Scrum Master played a pivotal role in an agile transformation.
This is a bit very generic. Like I've seen hundreds of Scrum Master um, delivering things, helping the team, changing the culture. It also largely depends that what is the definition of success. We are not talking about the success which is written in the frameworks or in the books. An organization is doing literally business. That means they are selling something. Either they are selling a product or a service. So largely the success revolves around their ability to sell more and more products and services for more and more revenue. That is at the organization level. When you drill down deeper and then go to the team level, then your success or failure may look like how many story points you are delivering every sprint, um, how less defects or bugs are there in your code or in your product or service every sprint. But that's not the real success, maybe. Because even if your team is doing amazing job and the team next door is rubbish, your organization will fail. And if your organization will fail, you will fail. You won't be able to enjoy your own, small world or island of success. It will impact you as well because every team is connected. So this whole idea of success is quite delusional in my mind sometimes. And as a Scrum Master, what I would say, the real success is that are you putting your best effort to make every single person in your team to work as their best version? Even if you have done it successfully individually, your team can still fail. So, yeah, it's very difficult. I've seen those cases where a Scrum Master has literally turn around the negative mindset of team members. I remember I was coaching a team around 5 years back. Of course, pre-COVID world was that, and we were in a retrospective. One of the team member didn't like the comment shared by some other team member, and he just stood up and banged the door and walk out. Imagine how toxic culture was that. And I've seen that particular scrum master working with the same team in 6 months, turning it around where everybody used to go out, hang out together, have beer in the evening, or have lunch together and like each other, openly get in conflict with each other because they understood very well it's nothing personal, they are one team. I would say that's a big success. Whether the team can deliver, I will not go into detail of that, but yeah, success can be from various different aspects. What is your definition of success? If you will share with us, I can definitely talk more about it. Oh yeah, that's a good topic to do a webinar. What is your definition of success? Maybe next one we can do on that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we are booking your next slot now, along with this one.
Anytime,
Actually,
anytime.
to the audience, if you have more, topics you would love us to do webinars on, feel free to put them in the chat box, and we'll take them into consideration. But for now, we'll move
Sure.
on to the next question. So, next question is
How
from
are we?
Michelle.
How are we? How are we doing on the time? I think we are
We have reached 1 hour, but
okay. Maybe one last
the
question.
okay.
Yeah, just one last.
So, last question, Gaurav. What advice would you give to Scrum Masters moving up to the advanced level within SAFe?
Okay, so if you are a Scrum Master, have gained a lot of experience, lot of knowledge, and working with the complex areas within the team, maybe it's the time for you to become RTE. So you can go on an RT course, or you can read a book about it. You can watch videos on YouTube about it, depending upon what is your learning style. I'm not here to sell courses. What I'm saying is that find out the most effective ways of learning for you. Maybe get in touch with an RT friend, ask that person to coach you and help you. So go in that direction, try to become an RTE. But more often, I've seen people who try to become RTE straight away from the Scrum Master role in the SAFe world get overwhelmed, and they feel like, oh, it's too philosophical, it's too bookish, and I can't do it. So in that sense, I always recommend people maybe take one step at a time. If you are a Scrum Master, very well versed, a lot of knowledge, go for SAFe Advanced Scrum Master training program. Spend 2 days, get into the depth of what a Scrum Master should do, working with other teams on a scale level, and then apply those skills in your work for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever time it takes, and then try to take the leap and try become RTE. But as a Scrum Master, in terms of your title, your role, your promotion, your salary, money, day rate, whatever you are getting, the next stop is RTE, the delivery mastery or servant leadership aspect. I use the word delivery mastery because many organizations still believe that somewhere the responsibility of delivery should be with the Scrum Master. In books and frameworks, it's not like that, but in real world, it's like that. And we are here to talk about real world, not to talk about books.
Okay,
All right.
that was very insightful. Any last things you want to add here, Gaurav?
Mm, yeah, I would say that just keep on learning, learning, learning. Yeah, there's a lot of knowledge in the world. It's up to you how much you can gain. And as you are learning, keep on applying as well. Join webinars, watch YouTube videos, read books, attend trainings. I can give you guarantee that if you invest in yourself by learning more and more, whatever way suits you in your current situation, life will pay you back one day. You will grow, you will get the results. Don't expect immediate result, but you will get the result. So don't be shy of saying that I don't know. Don't be shy of being in a class and be afraid that what other will think that I don't even know this fundamental concept. Just accept that I don't know and I'm trying to learn it and just grow in life. So keep on learning, keep on achieving new things, keep on celebrating small wins, big wins, and become the master of your journey in your career. Best of luck.
Beautifully said, Gaurav. Okay, Gaurav, First and foremost, I would like to thank you for coming here,
Pleasure.
gracing us with your presence, and answering all the questions so beautifully, so in depth, and such amazing answers they were. To the audience, we got most of the questions. I know we missed some, so we'll be getting back to you by emails. And if you have new questions, please feel free to email us, right? And like I said, we are open to your questions and we are open to new webinar ideas. And I promise we'll soon be back with a new webinar. But for today, I like to say thank you all because we have crossed our 1 hour mark. So I hope to see you all soon. Have a nice evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, everyone.
Alisha.
Thank you,
Thank
Vishnu.
you,
Yeah.
Aishi, for arranging this. I enjoyed talking to all the people on the webinar through both of you. And I wish we can have a better arrangement in future that we can directly talk to our attendees as well. But you understand there are lots of question and sometimes it's not easy. So based on experience, we have find out this way is better to talk to you guys and at least answer your live question. So as I said, keep on learning, keep on trying new things. Thank you so much for attending and thank you Advanced Agility for inviting me. I wish to come again and share some more stories with you guys. Till then, take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Everyone.